Hi Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading for the 17th to 24th of November. I am Charlene Lizette. Whether you are new or whether you are returning, a massive thank you to you. Either way, I hope you click subscribe and become a part of our collective. All right, Pisces, I do need to give a huge shout out to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Psychic Source is an amazing online platform to help you connect with vetted professional psychic advisors. This is what their website looks like. I've used them myself. Fun fact, in my Manifesting Your Soulmate video, I actually talked about how they accurately predicted stuff that was going on in my love life. I'll pop that video at the very end after this one, okay? When you connect with the psychics over at Psychic Source, it's a judgment-free zone. You can pick the right psychic that aligns with you after reading their profiles. You can connect with them in a multitude of different ways. So you can text them, you can video call them. I like to phone call them myself. And for those of you that are new to Psychic Source has been kind enough to extend up to 40 minutes for just $19.80. It's a $240 value, all right? They're amazing. I trust them. Like, I'm going back to them actually in the next couple of weeks because I need to get some guidance on another thing in my life. So you can use the link down there to book your session with them, all right? And a massive thank you to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. Okay, dude, this reading is crazy. Okay, sorry. I was like trying to peek at the cards and the energy of the cards while I was telling you about Psychic Source. Wow. Okay, here is my advice. We've got Mercury in the microwave, all right? We have the grand water trine happening between you guys because Neptune and Saturn are in Pisces, the Sun in Scorpio, and your planetary ruler, Jupiter, currently retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And so that grand water trine is creating a lot of initiatory energy. However, what I will say is because of what's going on in the cosmos, there's shakeups that are happening, okay? Drastic shakeups where you're being asked to sit back and go, what are the patterns, behaviors, thought processes? Like, what are the things that I've done in the past, okay? Or how have I should say, shown up in the past? This is what you got to ask yourself. That has blocked me from attracting love. That has stopped me from, bringing in love, happiness, peace, emotional fulfillment. Dare I say, how have I sabotaged love in the past, or my own joy, my own fulfillment in the past? Because this week, regardless of whether, you're in a romantic situation or, your work, your work is going really good. Like, I'm not saying bad things are happening. I actually don't see bad things happening. What I do see is deep introspective work. I shared this in the last week's video where I talked about the fact that even though the 11/11 portal that happened and this grand water trine, this month is really, really powerful, but it's asking you to transform its Scorpio energy. So it's really asking you to stop showing up in the same patterns or the same ways that have stopped you from getting what you want in life. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So for example, if you are ready to, break out in your career and just show up in your career in such a powerful way, magnetic way, what are the patterns that you've been exhibiting from the past that stopped you from doing that so that you can change them and show up differently now? The same thing with respect to love and your health and all aspects of your life. You're essentially being called to get real so you can have these big visions, these big dreams, right? That Neptunian energy. And Saturn turns around and goes, okay, now discipline, now structure, now practice. Jupiter retrograde is asking you to get to the heart of the situation. Jupiter retrograde is saying, can you tell yourself or get clear with yourself what truly brings you emotional fulfillment? What truly makes you feel secure and happy in life? And then Scorpio Sun, there's a transformation happening, right? The intensity, the internal power struggles, like where your ego really wants to take charge and when your higher self is going, we're done with that. We need to let that go. So we can step into a place of alignment, a place of evolution. That's your whole reading, babe. Okay, so let's dive deep now. We've got lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Literally what I've been telling you. Then we have the 6th house. The 6th house is connected to Virgo. This is your axes, my love, okay? Because Pisces, Virgo axes. listen to this. It's the house of health and jobs. Here is where we can see the work, life, routine, and organizational ability, as well as body care, diet, and exercise. Animal and pets also belong. It's I do. How can you serve? Serve yourself, serve your partners. How can you choose to show up in a different way? How can you organize your life in a different way to help you reach your goals? And then we have this beautiful card here that says happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. Now, as we get into your tarot spread, we have the Lovers and the Nine of Cups. Okay, this makes me really happy here for you, okay? This tells me that there's going to be big decisions, big choices, but also a lot of fulfillment here, okay? A lot of fulfillment here. Some of you might be coming into contact with new lovers, okay? Or there's an ignition, a powerful recognition with respect to love and your romantic dynamics with your existing partners. For others of you, if this doesn't have to do with love, like if you're like, Shara, I'm on like a single journey, I'm not interested in entering into romance. This is about you really getting clear on that emotional fulfillment. Like, Shara, this is what makes me happy. Shara, this is the path I want to go towards. The Hanged Man is introspection, self-reflection. There it is. You know, Neptunian in nature, the Hanged Man is. However, with Jupiter retrograde, I feel like the Jupiterian energy is really showing up here in your reading, reminding you, go inward. Instead of doing, be in contemplation, be in self-reflection. Say, like, does this actually make me feel good or not? You know, if you're in a relationship, a career dynamic or whatever, like, is it like 80% feel good, 20% feel crap, or the other way around? The Queen of Pentacles is financial stability. This is you being very grounded, very rooted, very stable as you are journeying forward. This is maturity. This is turning around and going, this is the boundary. I'm not passing that boundary. Whether this is in your work relationships, whether this is in your career, whether this is in your friendships, whether it's in your romantic situations. Whatever you are journeying through this week, you're turning around and going, this is a boundary. Like, I'm not tolerating like this. Like, I'm very clear on certain things in my dynamics, whether it's with my friends, my romantic partner, or my career, or whatever, like even my parents. I'm very I run a strict program here. And I do that because Pisces have a really hard time with boundaries. Pisces, it's in our nature to dissolve boundaries and to want to be fluid and believe the best of people and want, you know, just the goodest of the goodest of the goodest. However, sometimes it comes to our own detriment. Right? Sometimes it comes to our own detriment. We accept really crappy friendships. We accept people stepping all over us. We don't know how to say no, or we struggle saying no. Okay. Or, because we love somebody, whether it's our parent, our friend, or a romantic partner, we end up being very forgiving. And sometimes, you know, listen, compassion, forgiveness, I'm all about it. Empathy, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Okay. I'm all about the acceptance. But there's also a time where you have to ask yourself, is that acceptance a burden to me? Five of Swords, the Moon, and the Two of Swords. This is where I can see a little bit of conflict showing up this week. However, I think this conflict comes from illusions, the fears, the misunderstandings, the delusions, right? It's almost like, this is what I'm saying, stay so grounded, get clear. Like, if something isn't aligning with you anymore, whether it's even your own response, your own reactions, you know, if you find yourself repeating these old patterns, go pause, you know, time out. Like, I need a timeout. Why am I doing this? Why am I behaving on this old pattern? I actually just had this conversation with my son just the other day because he was getting so riled up about something. And I turned around and said to him, how is you getting riled up about this benefiting you? You're getting angry, you're lashing out on people, you know, you're getting so worked up that you're like hurting your own emotional vessel, right? I'm like, pause, take a breath, pay attention. Where's the illusion? Where are you choosing not to see? This is Libra moon, by the way, energy. So again, this is like, I need to make a decision, but I can't because I feel stuck because of the illusions, right? And I said to him, pause, give yourself a breather. Ask yourself, like, is this serving me for my highest good? That's the big theme here, right? I'm not saying you're breaking up with people. I'm not saying that work's going to be crap. As a matter of fact, I see you being very, very grounded, very rooted. There's a lot of beautiful things happening here. But this is your internal crap that you got to work on, man. This is big, big internal stuff that's going on. And look, part of being an evolved person is practicing that self-awareness to recognize the behaviors that we have within our own life, right? That stop us from being able to manifest, to manifest, or, you know, align ourselves with that life of freedom and fulfillment that we desire. Okay, Pisces, let's dive into your love reading. If you want to book a session, you want to work with me in any capacity, it's down in the description box below. I do invite you to sign up to my mailing list because I am launching my free quantum wealth activation webinar. But those of you that are in the mailing list will be the ones that get access to it. Okay, so you're going to want to sign up to it. It's a free webinar. In your love life, ooh, I like this. Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Love, 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 love this. Okay, you're balancing your desire with understanding of being grounded and rooted. So again, if some of you are meeting somebody new this week, okay, coming into contact with somebody new here, there's an understanding, wow, I have like all this passion, this desire for them, very scorpionic energy, like deep wanting of melding of souls and all this stuff. Oh yeah, definitely with the Tower here. There might even be, if you get what I'm saying, okay? If you get what I'm saying, you can drop it in the comments. I'm going to be cryptic with those words. You guys know what's up. But then you're also realizing, wow, okay, I may have like this intense chemistry. I may have this intense compatibility, this deep desire for this person. However, I'm balancing my own independence, my own sovereignty, Nine of Pentacles, with the Two of Pentacles energy, okay? Understanding that it's beautiful to have love. Look at these two little lovebirds right here, okay? Ignore my crusty nails. They're getting fixed next week. I had to cut them all down. They were all breaking. It was bad. It was bad. They just needed a reset. You know, sometimes in life you need a reset. It's a new dawn of a new day, you know? And then with the King of Pentacles here, the Ace of Swords, getting clear. This is what I desire in my romantic relationships. This is what makes me work. This is what makes me feel good in my romantic relationships. And listen, whether you are in like dating somebody in a long-term committed relationship, or you're just meeting somebody for the first time, do not fear setting your expectations and your boundaries. To be honest, my advice to you, let them know from the beginning, because they're either going to be like, yes, this is something I can work with, let's move on, or this is not something I can work with, and they're going to leave. Thank God. If they leave, bye, thank you. Garbaggio. We have cloudy judgment, illusions, unbalanced, distorted, right? Exactly. You're getting clear here. You're no longer desiring to live in this place of illusions when it comes to your love life. You're getting very, very clear and specific on what works and what doesn't, because baby, you're focused on family, okay? I love this. Family, fertility, parenthood, pregnancy. Sorry, I'm not going to take that card. Okay, but can you just give me a second here and let me pull out the card for King of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords? Yeah, you're thinking long-term here, and I love this for you. You're long-term thinking. You're thinking about your legacy, your future. You know, who is going to be my husband or my wife? Who is going to be the father, mother of my children? Who am I going to build a life with? Yeah, you gotta trust you when I tell you something, okay? The person you choose to marry or enter into a long-term relationship with is either going to be your biggest advocate, your biggest cheerleader, or literally your demise. Healing, releasing, purifying, cleansing. Yes, I love this. Ugh, chef's kiss. This is a beautiful reading, you guys. If you want to book a session or work with me in any capacity, it's down there. Here's the video I was telling you about manifesting your soulmate, especially for those of you that are single like a Pringle. You want to manifest love? Here you go. I give it to you now, okay, for free. Okay, go watch it. See you later, alligators. Peace out. Bye.